Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another video. Now unfortunately we are going into the international break. Not too many people enjoy it, but don't worry, we have got another championship video lined up for you today. Today we're going to be looking at the bookies and who they fancy to go up and down from the championship. Just a reminder before we get into this video, make sure you have hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 2.2k, so let's get into this. So then, starting at the bottom and working our way up, let's start with relegation. So bottom of the table, Wycombe Wanderers, they're not even on here. They're that odds on to go down that they haven't even got a bet for them. They're that sure that Wycombe are going down that they're not wasting that bet. So Wycombe aren't even on here. Wycombe aren't even on here. What? To be fair to the bookies, I can't blame them. If there was a bet with 1 to 500, I'd still put £500 on, positive that I'm going to get £501 back. So fair enough. We'll move on to Sheffield Wednesday. Now Sheffield Wednesday, after that fantastic win against Barnsley, have pulled themselves back into it, as you can see on the table, but there's still 1 to 8 to go down. To be honest, I get that. The problem is Sheffield Wednesday, they're cut adrift, but they don't have the games in hand that Rotherham do as well. So they're behind Rotherham, and Rotherham have games in hand. So if Rotherham then go on to win a lot of their games in hand, the bar gets lifted and Sheffield Wednesday are going to struggle. Personally, this season, I think 48, 49 points probably just gets you to safety. So Sheffield Wednesday looking at having to win maybe more than half of their games to get out of it. I don't know. Moving on then, we've got Birmingham City, where we're looking at roughly evens there. As you can see, Birmingham City is right down the middle, isn't it? I think with Birmingham City, you've got a couple of things going their way, a couple of things not going their way. Obviously, they've brought in Lee Bowyer. I think he's going to be decent for them. As you can see, he already picked up a win against Reading. But then, obviously, they've got less games than Rotherham, less games than Coventry. They've got less games than most teams, and they've got some tough games coming up, the likes of Swansea and Brentford. So I think with Birmingham City, it's going to be very close either way. I've said before, they might just fall short, they might just stay up. So with Birmingham City, the odds are looking very even. Next up, Rotherham United at 5 to 2, so the bookies do back them to stay up, and it's probably because of their games in hand. Also, if you look at Rotherham's fixture list going through April, they've got the likes of Wycombe at home, Birmingham at home, Huddersfield away, Coventry at home. There's plenty of games there, and even if they lose 2 of them, if they can win 2 of them, it's 6 points. I think with Rotherham, they should be able to pick up plenty of points through April. They've got a couple tough games to come, but with the amount of games they've got, they should do enough to overtake Birmingham. As you can see, the odds are backed for them to just get out of it. With Rotherham United, at least it's in your own hands. Now next up, Coventry and Derby, both joint at 5 to 1. Understandable. I think Coventry and Derby's chances are about the same. Derby are 1 point ahead of Coventry, but Coventry do have 1 game in hand. So Coventry and Derby were quite tight, I think. We're quite evenly matched. And I think we're both just on the right side of it at the moment, but we're 1 or 2 bad results from falling into it. So as you can see, the bookies do just back Coventry and Derby to get out of it. But I think we both need to pick up probably 9 more points between now and the end of the season. Next up, Huddersfield Town. Credit to them, they've got themselves into a great position, and the odds are 10 to 1, so they're not very likely to go down based on these odds. So yeah, they've got themselves into a great position now, Huddersfield. They've got some big games coming up. Like we said, they've got to play Rotherham United. They've also got to play Mighty and Coventry in the second last game of the season, so that's going to be interesting. But Huddersfield, just on the right side of things. And then just below that, you've got Preston and Nottingham Forest, who are the last teams, realistically, you could say go down. I think looking at Blackburn and Bristol City, I don't think they're going down, even if they go on a really bad run. I think even Preston, probably just 1 win and a couple of draws and they're over the line, so I can understand 16 to 1. You're probably not going to win that bet. Forest, 25 to 1, they're nearly there. I think with Forest, they've picked up some decent results this season, drawing at Brentford at the weekend just gone. That's 1 point closer to safety now. So then, that's the relegation odds. Let's look at the top 6 race. So then, as we look towards the top 6, as you can see, Queen's Park Rangers, Millwall and Luton at 100 to 1, 80 to 1 and 80 to 1. Mathematically, they still have a chance of making the top 6, but realistically, having to probably win all of their games and probably rely on a few other results as well. So it's not realistic, really, for those teams. Next up, Stoke City at 33 to 1. A big win against Derby at the weekend just before the international break. And yeah, 1-0, really important. But once again, they just seem to be a bit out of touching distance of the top 6. I think being realistic, you're looking at Middlesbrough upwards. Middlesbrough at 6 to 1. So that's not too bad. But once again, they are on the wrong side of things. But they've picked up a few results. That defeat at Millwall's really pushed them out of it. But they've still got a chance. And then it gets very tricky with Cardiff City, Reading and Bournemouth, all with very, very similar odds. 7 to 4 for Cardiff City, 6 to 5 for Reading and 4 to 6 for Bournemouth. So Bournemouth, the favourites out of all of them. They've now got a game in hand because they didn't play in the weekend just before the international break. They were obviously in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. But Reading, that's not looking good for them. Obviously, they've been in the playoffs for a long time now, and their last few results haven't been too great. They drew against QPR, lost to Blues, and drew against Forest. They haven't won any of their last 3. They're slipping out of it, but if you're a Reading fan, you just think to yourself, we're nearly there now. Time's running out and things are very close. Cardiff City, though, what a win, by the way, against Swansea City. They've put themselves right in the mix. But at the moment, Bournemouth are the most likely to come 6th. And then amazingly, you look at Barnsley at 1-3. So the bookies really fancy them, despite that defeat to Sheffield Wednesday last time out. I think Barnsley have got themselves into a reasonably comfortable position now where they can afford a couple slip-ups. Not major slip-ups, but I think they only need a handful of wins now to cement their place. They've got themselves into a great position, great points tally, and I think 76 points, 77 points should be their target. So they're moving towards the top 2 odds. As you can see, Cardiff, Reading, Bournemouth and Barnsley with very, very slim chances of making it. But as you can see, Swansea in 4th place to make the automatics with 13-2. Obviously their recent results haven't been too good. Losing at home to Cardiff, that might be the killer, which just sees it slip out of their fingers. Brentford at 11-4, so they've still got a good chance, but as you can see, Watford, much the favourites now, 2-5. What a win, by the way, against Birmingham, who are battling for their lives, a 3-0 win, and Watford on the homeward stretch now. The only thing I think that could worry Watford is their last 4 games. They've got the top 3 in obviously 4 of them, so Norwich, Swansea and Brentford. They want to get themselves into as good a position as possible going into that, so they don't have to feel like they have to win every game. And as you can see, Norwich at 1-250 of making the automatics now, so they are nailed on to go up automatically. And then as you can see, as champions for the division, Swansea at 150-1, Brentford at 40-1, Watford at 9-1 and Norwich at 1-20. So Norwich will win the league, and realistically, like I've said before, I think they might make 100 points. A little slip up against Blackburn, but 1-1's not a bad result. They're nearly there. They're winning most of their games, drawing a couple as well, and Norwich will surely win the league. So then guys, that does wrap up today's video. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to leave a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Get in! You made it to the end of the video without switching off. What a legend. If you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you really want to help out the channel, then hit that subscribe button. As you can see, 67% of the people that watch these videos aren't subscribed. So hit that big subscribe button, share it around with your friends, and let's get the channel to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you.